Welcome to Cali's Take. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you can get the newest content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. So, from what I'm getting, I've been reading Sports Illustrated and a few other sites. And, I've just been reading back and forth trying to get more information that I can to provide. But based upon what I'm reading, Kawhi Leonard is speaking out more about what the Clippers need. And, right now, based upon Kawhi Leonard's words, that he's open to another point guard. He's open to the fact of, if the Clippers decide to get another point guard and trade for a big man as well. And we all know that he played for the Raptors a few years ago. And one of the 2 point guard names that's out there, for the Clippers is, Kyle Lowry and or Fred VanVleet. So I feel like he's trying to turn the Clippers into the Raptors 2.0 or vice versa, however you want to say it. I feel like that's exactly where Kawhi is going in his mind and what he thinks the Clippers should do. And I feel like, of course, he's definitely alerted the front office so they'll know exactly, what direction he feels like the team should be going in because he's the guy. And I feel like they're going to listen to him very, very, very much because they know he is the guy. They know that, this operation wouldn't be if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard. I mean, if it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard coming to the Clippers, there would be no Paul George. There would be none of the players you see. There would be no Kawhi Leonard. There would be no Clippers being a contender possibly for a championship. So with that being said, the front office, they have to listen to Kawhi. I mean, it's no other way. They have to listen to their best player. And rightfully so. If if the Clippers are thinking and he's thinking, Fred VanVleet or Kyle Lowry, I know Kyle Lowry hasn't really been playing that good this season with the with the Miami Heat. And I feel like, some Miami Heat fans might resent Kyle Lowry because he has gotten a little older and, he looks a little out of shape to me. The last time I looked at him, I'd say I looked at him about less than a week ago when Miami Heat played. I think they played Boston and he looked a little out of shape to me. But, I think if he's in the right situation, I feel like Kyle Lowry has a little something left for maybe, for a team that he can help win. Because I just don't think that, as much as people praise the Miami Heat, I just don't think they're where they need to be. I don't think Bam is a superstar in the making. I feel like he could be a star potentially type player, maybe all-star. I never looked at Jimmy Butler as a superstar or any type of star player. Well, he's a star player, I suppose, but I never looked at him as the guy. And I feel like Kyle Lowry feels the same way being on the Heat. He knows the Heat doesn't have the guy that can get them to where they need to. I mean, the Heat has a good team overall, but they gotta have a superstar. They don't have one. So I feel like Kyle Lowry would play a lot better with a superstar, and especially one that he's won a championship with in, Kawhi Leonard. I know he would love to play with Kawhi Leonard. So would VanVleet. Honestly, at this point right now, if I were the Clippers, I would look more at the opportunity of VanVleet if I could. As far as the big man situation, I mean, really, honestly, the Clippers really can take just about anybody because I just don't think Moses Brown, from what I've seen from Moses Brown, I just don't really see. A couple games I've looked at, I saw some potential there, and I was kind of giving them a little bit of praise for a second, but overall, I went back and looked at the tape, viewed more of what his qualities are, how he plays, with his type of energy level, how he is on the court. And I just don't think I don't think the Clippers could really use him like that. Maybe he might be better in another situation, but overall, I just don't think he's really no good for what the Clippers are trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a good backup center. I think he's too young for one. And like I said, the Clippers trying to win a championship, so they need veteran leadership. They need guys who can play the position at a higher level, who are just better players. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they find in that area, the center position would be great for the Clippers because Zubac, I feel like he's kind of went back into his shell a little bit, somewhat, of how he was the previous seasons. And even though he started off this season really, really promising, but, it all rounded out to, about where he was, previously, years before this season. So, but as far as, the Clippers, it's going to be tough for them to make any trades or anything because, honestly, the Clippers really don't have anything that other teams want. Like, if the Clippers offer like a second round pick or something like that they might have, and let's hypothetically say if the Clippers want to trade somebody, let's say they try to get rid of some of their young players, because some teams like to, they want to start, with young players and, kind of build themselves back up and, start a new foundation with young players. But I feel like the Clippers don't have anybody that teams really want to have. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Boston, I like Brandon Boston, but his stock really isn't that high because the Clippers don't use him like that. And, Amir Coffey, same thing. Jason Preston, same thing with him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the Clippers, their young players are not valuable in a lot of, a lot of teams they try to negotiate with. I mean, if I'm a team negotiating with the Clippers, honestly, I haven't, if I'm an owner of an NBA team, I haven't seen enough from Brandon Boston to know whether he's worth a damn or not. I haven't seen enough from Amir Coffey. I haven't seen enough from these guys. And, and I feel like that's what the owners are saying. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's why the Clippers, you hear a lot of speculation about their trades and things like that, but you don't never really see it go through because I don't really feel like they have what teams are looking for. And the pieces that the Clippers do have that teams are looking for, the Clippers are not trying to let them go. Like if the Clippers let go of hypothetically Marcus Morris, even though I think Marcus Morris' time with the Clippers is done, but if they don't get nothing, like equivalent in return, it doesn't make sense. But hypothetically, let's say they let go of Marcus Morris. Let's say they let go of somebody like, well, I'm gonna leave out Marcus Morris. Let's say they let go of somebody like Rocco, Robert Covington. Let's say they let go of Nicholas Batum, or maybe like a Luke Kennard, somebody like that. Along with, maybe one of their young players off the bench, they're losing a lot of depth. And that's the thing with the Clippers. They're so heavily, predicated on their depth and the wings that they have. If they lose those players in a trade and get back a one guy who could be injury prone or possibly or something like that, they're losing a lot of their championship DNA, you know what I'm saying, or potential championship DNA since they haven't won one. But this is what I'm saying. The Clippers are very, very precautious about who they're trying to give up and who they're trying to go after because they don't really have a lot of pieces that teams want unless it's one of their major pieces or one of their core pieces, as in the guys who's been there the last several seasons. Like Luke Kennard has, value, Marcus Morris, people like that, Robert Covington, as I said, Norman Powell, Batum. Yeah, those guys got value, but the Clippers are probably not going to trade those guys, of course, because they need them to make up the depth that they have that makes them a unique team that they are. Which makes a lot of people believe they can win the championship. So the Clippers are only really trying to trade a very few people out of their roster and their lineup. So if that's the case, the Clippers might have a hard time trying to find somebody. And in regards to Kawhi Leonard, I know he's open to another point guard. To me, that just kind of says, what he and maybe possibly the Clippers think of John Wall. John Wall is good, but at the same time, this is not 2015. He shows signs of 2015 when he was like kind of in his prime, but it's not consistent enough. And like me personally, I haven't seen enough from John Wall, playing with the Clippers where I can really evaluate it. But, I feel like the Clippers and the organization itself, and I feel like, maybe some in the organization, possibly, maybe Kawhi, whoever might not think, John Wall is a fit because, he really can't. He can't shoot. He can't stretch the floor, for one, which is a downside. And number two, like I say, in spurts, in moments, you see the 2015 John Wall. And it's like, is that going to be good enough to win a championship? I'm not 100% sure about that. And maybe the Clippers aren't either. So I feel like that point guard position is something that they're really looking into because they just don't know about, John Wall. And like I said, the fact that John Wall was unhappy with the minutes and stuff that he's getting and everything. And that was being reported about a month or two ago that I actually, reported myself. You can check out one of my older videos, but it might not sit well with the Clippers in that aspect as well either. So, I mean, it's like, it's really, the Clippers are kind of like in a crazy type situation. You think they got all the pieces they need, and then they're still kind of looking for certain pieces because they don't feel like some of the pieces they have or acquired has fit. It's a lot of up in the air, things right now with the Clippers. So, I want to see what happens. And the fact that Kawhi spoke out about this, you can look at it on sportsillustrated.com and check it out there. But the fact that Kawhi kind of spoke about being open to another point guard and things like that, it just kind of says, a lot, like it speaks on John Wall. It speaks on where he believes the team is right now, which is apparently maybe not at championship level ready yet, of course. And it speaks on the fact that, he's looking for only certain players to play with. What I'm saying? Kawhi said it like a few years ago when they had Doc Rivers as their coach and they lost in the bubble. He said we need high IQ basketball players. We need high IQ, people around the organization. You can't win championships if you don't have people with a high IQ of the game and knowing the game from a different perspective, where it'll make us a dominant team. And he was right about that, because any teams you see win a championship, they usually have high IQ players, high IQ role players, guys who play their role to perfection, guys who are buying into the process, the system, coaches that are all in with the players, and the superstars are all in one accord, and they got all the right pieces to where, if they get into a matchup issue in a 7-game series, they got backup, They got other options to go to. You see what I'm saying? And usually other options to go to is guys who play their role effectively and play it at a high level and play with the IQ of the winning mentality rather than just, stats and things like that, So, and I feel like, John Wall is good. I always said I never thought John Wall was a high IQ basketball player, as in like winning. I've always stood on that. I stand on it now. I like I said, but I haven't seen enough from him with the Clippers. But so far, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are not on the John Wall bandwagon. And, hey, like I said, we just have to see what happens, because I know the Clippers are trying to negotiate, but it's hard to negotiate with what they're trying to offer. So we'll see if any one of these teams will bite on, any of the negotiations that they have. I mean, I don't even know if other teams really, might not want to take a chance on John Wall either, So it's really a tough situation the Clippers are in, but we'll see if they find their way out, and hopefully, maybe they'll listen to Kawhi and take heed to what he says and bring on somebody who has more of a championship DNA. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check my other videos if you haven't. And hey, till next time.